When you ask someone about their favorite movie, it can often tell you a lot about the person and, in some ways, who they are and what they value. My all-time favorite movie, without a doubt, is, and I think will forever be, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. To try and summarize this movie to its full extent in a short amount of time would be nearly impossible, but in an effort to make this video as structured as possible, I'm gonna try. Directed by Michael Gondry and written by Charlie Kaufman, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind follows a couple and their process of removing each other from their memories. It tells the story of two people that are simultaneously meant to be, whilst destined to just as quickly fall apart. Eternal Sunshine indulges in its own melancholy and is an emotional roller coaster that will leave you feeling nostalgic of memories you've since locked away. Jim Carrey does a beyond extraordinary job at portraying the introverted and reserved Joel Barish. If I'm being honest, Jim Carrey is the last person I'd expect to play a role such as this, but he did it with such ease and exceeded my, and I'm sure many others' expectations when this masterpiece came out in 2004. Kate Winslet is perfect, as always. Her portrayal of the extroverted and eccentric Clementine both clashes and pairs oh so beautifully with Jim Carrey's Joel.
Wish me a happy Valentine's Day when you call. That'd be nice.
I genuinely can't find a single aspect of this film that I don't like. The soundtrack, primarily composed by John Brion, is perfect. He also composed the OST for Lady Bird, and that was phenomenal as well, so are we really surprised? The cinematography is also astounding, especially the library transition that still gives me chills to this day.
Oh, good.
Using Clementine's hair as a plot device to specify the time in which we're watching the story develop is genius. And the writing, oh my god, the writing. A lot of the lines that really sat with me were the ones that were being built up the whole movie just to at the end be told so directly and in such a simple way. No big explanation needed. With little words, we already know everything that needed to be said has been said. Connected with emotion rather than extensive dialogue.
This is it, Joel. It's gonna be gone soon.
I know.
What do we do?
Enjoy it.
Eternal Sunshine tends to play on sci-fi and almost Black Mirror-like themes, demonstrating the good and bad of being given the ability and technology to tap into our minds and remove what we see isn't fit, delving into philosophical questions of happiness and growth. Are we truly better without the haunting memories of the past? This movie proves to us that no matter how hard we try to get rid of these memories, fragments remain, and it is crucial for them to, in order to live a life with growth and change. This is especially seen in the final scenes where the two discover their tapes, but I'll get more into that later. More than technological aspects, however, something avid watchers tend to debate over is whether or not Clem and Joel were really meant for each other. I'm gonna try and look at both sides. I have a hard time not pulling comparisons from this love story to that of Damien Chazelle's masterpiece La La Land, chasing a love strictly based on the initial spark and less on compatibility, at least in its complete form. Both couples struggle over different issues, but the reason they stay remains the same. Their immense love for one another is that of the soulmate type. Both lovers and best friends. When they're at their highest of moments, they are at their happiest. The childlike wonder and imagination is what brings these couples close, but unfortunately, in reality, is never what determines longevity. If the two are incapable of learning to agree to disagree, make sacrifices for one another, learn to work and adapt and change, the connection will eventually fall through the cracks. But can people work through these obstacles and learn to grow? Of course. And we're sort of alluded to that ending in Eternal Sunshine, and less in La La Land, but I could make a whole other video about that movie and why the ending is perfect. Like if you want to see that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and claim that Joel and Clem are perfectly compatible personality-wise. They complement each other because they, in many ways, weigh each other out. Clem is outgoing, Joel is not. Joel is not much of the adventurous type, while Clem is. But this also sees itself as a huge obstacle because they're unwilling to understand each other's side and change in some way to get along. Clem is unwilling to change her irresponsible, often erratic behaviors and drinking problems, such as staying out till 3 a.m. drunk, carelessly wrecking Joel's car. Joel is seen unable to properly communicate his emotions, as well as really communicate anything, according to Clem at least.
Don't tell me things, Joel. I'm an open book. I tell you everything. Every damn embarrassing thing.
He also never seems to truly understand Clem for who she is, jaded with what seems to be an infatuation of some sort. He outright states this in the audio that was recorded before the memory removal.
Who wants to spend that much time with someone only to find out that she's a stranger?
Unhealthy habits are seen in both counterparts, and neither of them try to fix them, ultimately leading to their separation. However, this is where the ending comes into play and mixes things up a bit. After listening to each other's tapes, it's clear that this creates a divide, stating what they dislike about one another in gruesome detail.
That pathetic, wimpy, apologetic smile, that sort of wounded puppy shit he does, you know?
What are you doing?
He's not doing anything.
Bloom is certainly fucking.
The only way Clem thinks she can get people to like her is to fuck them.
I don't do that.
I wouldn't think that about you.
Because I don't.
I know.
But even after the memory removal of each other, they feel this spiritual and emotional tie, specifically on Joel's end, coercing him to call for Clem to stay.
What?
I don't know.
What
Just
do you
wait.
want, Joel?
Just wait. I don't know. I want you to wait for just a while.
She lays it out on the table for him. Full honesty, no beating around the bush.
I can't see anything that I don't like about you.
But you
Right
will.
now I can't.
But you will. You know, you will think of things. And I'll get bored with you and feel trapped because that's what happens with me.
And in this moment, Joel puts all his insecurities aside for what seems like the first time ever and just willingly and wholeheartedly accepts it.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a moment of vulnerability that would pull at anyone's heartstrings, accepting the eventual hurt and willing to go through it because at the end of the day, the good memories are what made it enjoyable. Relishing in the present and less on what the future holds. This is the final message to take home. Many have speculated the final scene was put on repeat to show that they continue this loop after the tapes were released. But others have hope because they have been given the tapes, realize what didn't work, and it would be presumed that Lacuna shut down after the expose, giving them time to reflect on their past and grow. Whether stuck in the loop or not, we really don't know what's in store for them, and that's what makes the ending so impactful. Relationships aren't simple, they're messy and confusing, but have the potential to change your life for the better if you're willing to open your heart to any and all possibilities.
Change your heart. Look around.